Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. And my name is Rotimi Atayo. It's such a pleasure to be hosting you on this morning's show. Thank you for joining. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa, to Africa and the entire world. And it's such a pleasure to be here once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. And today we'll be having a nice and lovely, wonderful conversation. But before then, let me just give you a heads up as to what to expect on the show. On the Good Morning Education Show, we spend time to discuss about matters arising, issues about education, the world of education, around the world of education. And of course, we know education is much more than schools. And we talk about this from time to time. We bring experts um, and individuals who we call analysts and guests who are exposed, who share their exposure, their expertise, and thoughts on the conversation of the day in question. And from time to time, we also welcome comments from our guests. That's you, our viewers. We call you tribe members. We welcome your questions. We welcome your contributions on the show. And we also take, of course, your location. So if you're streaming and joining us today, please do let us know your location, where you're streaming from. Tell us where you're connecting from. Tell us your name. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're located. And we would like to ring the bell of blessing to you. Once again, on the Good Morning Education Show, we also take headlines in review. We review headlines in the world of education. We look at possible things happening in and around the world of education. And we spend some time, to deliberate on such issues. And one of the things that you will see is that before we get into the topic of the day, we will be having comments, and we will be having headlines. I prefer to call them headline review about the issues happening in and around the world of education. And as we welcome you all this morning, I'm going to start with the first headline. And the first headline says, Taming Menace of Sexual Abuse in Schools. Um, there's a menace of sexual abuse in school. This is not just starting today, but increasingly we are witnessing the sophistication of perpetrators. We have so many people, coming up with their own strategy, with their own ways, with their own forward, with their own manner, making these things happen. And it's really, really something that I totally believe that should be stopped. And it's happening around, and it's happening everywhere. And sometimes when you look at even perpetrators, you begin to witness that it's across all levels, you know. But then, of course, the school is meant to be a place of security and safety. The school is meant to be a place of learning and development. The school is meant to be a place of 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 support, and therefore we don't subscribe in any form and in any manner to this abuse going on. I believe that the authorities should be, ahead of the game on this, and show to a large extent how they are willing, how they're poised ready to make this definite change. Now let's move to the next one. Next one says, next headline says, literary reality show debut in Lagos as experts bemoan neglect. Literacy or literary reality show begins, and experts are bemoaning regret. Well, a lot has been said as to the degree of input and support of education. A lot has been said with regards to the vibrant and quality products that we have, and I think that it's almost like a broken record saying this is not happening this is not happening. I just feel that it's important that we get to the meat of the matter and begin to look at how we transverse these realities in our favor. And of course, we need more innovative ideas, more innovative inputs, and activities within education, just to be able to ensure that we move in the right direction, right step in the right direction. So that's it, pretty much on that. Well done to the experts. And that's about the headlines that we have. But before I continue, I'd like to talk about the registration for the National Spelling Bee, the Team Masters National Spelling Bee. That's going on, and I would like to use the opportunity to tell everyone out there, schools, parents, teachers, educators, students. This is an opportunity for you to. It's an opportunity for you to be a part of the spelling bee competition. All you need to do is to register. The deadline has been extended to November 30th, and I believe that in itself is a motivation for those who have not been able to register them. So, yeah, be a part of the spelling bee competition. Reach out to us on our website www.spellingbeenigeria.com and get the opportunity to be a part of the competition. The competition is taking place across the country, and I'm sure you would love to have your students or your child participate to represent you, your brand, your family, and themselves. So, on that note, we'll move to the next thing on the agenda, which is the conversation of the day. So, we're going to be having an interesting conversation, and our conversation is going to be centered or anchored on just one thing: career serve. Career serve. Know that the word serve is not new, it's not strange, but it's something that we all have heard or used at one point time or the other. And it's connoting some realities that we need to address. And I believe that when we all sit down and look at all these realities, we might be able to make the required amendments or the required activities that we should do. So, question is, what exactly does it mean to be career savvy? I think the word savvy um, can can automatically explain itself. Savvy word is talking about mastery, talking about intelligence, talking about knowledge, it's talking about a lot of practical things. And I believe that in the situation we find ourselves, it's important that we know more about our careers as much as we know about our jobs. We need to know more about our profession as much as we know much about our job description. And this is because it promotes and enables us all to be able to have kind of development that we should have, the needed development that we should have. And that's why we're talking about this today, career service. And most people that don't know about their career, most people that don't know about the length and breadth of their career, what's available to them, what's available to you, what's available to me. A lot of people do not know. And because of that, it gives us difficulty navigating our path, our growth, and also achieving excellence as a whole. So this is why we are talking about this today. So I'm sure you have questions. To ask your question as we dissect the conversation today. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about career service educator. And the idea is just to be able to get us informed and get us engaged. I believe that the career of every educator and the career of every individual, every professional, is one that actually is laced on the path of growth. It provides you the length and breadth of what you can do within a profession. In fact, being career savvy opens you up to the opportunities and jobs that exist, that should exist, that will exist. It also opens us to the possibility of being pioneers, in every form and in every ramification. That's what it does. And I believe that as we begin to champion our cause to become career savvy, we will have better educators, better sector, better industries, because there's so much more. Careers are a symbol of possibilities, a symbol of more. And I believe that this is why we find ourselves in such a situation where we connect ourselves to more in terms of possibility, more in terms of growth, more in terms of outcome, more in terms of every other thing as well. So I think that is what it is all about. And I know that that's what will happen. So this is just to encourage you out there to get to know more about your job, but then don't stop there. Get to know more about your career. Your career is an open window to growth. Your career is an open window to advancement. Your career is an open matrix to development. And as much as you're able to do that, you're able to find meaning, you're able to find growth, you're able to find development as well, in the short term, in the long term as well. So please make sure that you put your mind to it, make sure that you put your heart to it, make sure that you put your goal, you put your strength into it, because your career is not something you must take for granted. It's not something you must take for a chance. A lot of people who are practice intentionalism, have shown, and there's one thing I've come to realize, that when we navigate our careers, we must be willing to experiment and explore areas. Known and unknown areas need to be explored. Explored in the sense of you identifying how you can, where you can, when you can, have the kind of engagement required. These are many more things that we can talk about and think about. Well, on that note, I think we'll have to call it a day today. It's a short one indeed, but we've been able to ensure that we're here and there for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, ensure that in all you do, you have a great day. Remember, as we say on the Good Morning Education Show, it's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Thank you.